As we speak, President Joe Biden is on his way to Europe as NATO allies prepare for meetings. He has hinted at more sanctions coming against Russia, which is continuing its attacks, the latest round of targets including a shopping mall. But there is some word now that Russian troops are beginning to face some pretty major setbacks on the ground in Ukraine. Let's get to Antoine Lewis for the latest. Antoine.
We'll get to all of that, Chris. And there are new reports this morning, this noon rather, that Russian troops have seized more than a dozen rescue workers and drivers that were part of a humanitarian convoy. This, as you mentioned, the president, as he was leaving, was asked about one very concerning topic shortly before his departure.
President, how concerned are you about the threat of chemical warfare right now, that Russia will use chemical weapons? How high is that threat?
I think it's a real threat.
Again, that was the president being asked about his concerns over the threat of chemical warfare this morning as he was leaving the White House just after 9, headed to Brussels. The president is on his way to an emergency NATO meeting where he is expected to announce a new wave of sanctions against Russia. The White House says the president will also announce the tightening of existing sanctions, this with the support of NATO allies. This morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed Japan's parliament, saying 4 weeks of war have killed thousands, including 121 of Ukraine's children. He also spoke about the horrific conditions in the port city of Mariupol, which has seen some of the worst devastation.
We have been trying to organize stable humanitarian corridors for Mariupol's residents, and almost all our attempts have been obstructed by shelling.
Russian forces continue their offensive, and Ukraine's military continues to push back. There was, as you just heard the president say, more shelling and gunfire across Ukraine. Mariupol, as he mentioned, remains a target of airstrikes, as does the capital, Kyiv. Now, Ukrainian authorities say that Russian troops struck a shopping mall and other buildings. There were injuries reported. The AP also reporting that Russian forces are facing a serious supply of shortages, including food, fuel, and cold weather gear, with some of the soldiers actually suffering from frostbite. Though again, the threat of Putin getting more aggressive and using nuclear weapons remains the major concern for NATO.
Any use of nuclear weapons will fundamentally change the nature of the conflict, and Russia must understand that a nuclear war should never be fought, and they can never win a nuclear war.
The UN says that Russia's nuclear weapons rhetoric contradicts agreements and statements the Kremlin has made in the past about the use of such weaponry. The AP is reporting and quoting President Zelensky as saying that talks to end the fighting are being done step by step, but they are going forward. That is the very latest this noon. Chris, we're going to send things back over to you.
All right, Antoine, thank you very much.